time for a break. Grab a coffee, get comfy, and catch up with old friends. Join us for an easy chat on all the biggest news stories of the day on ICRT Breakdown, a bilingual 2030 policy program brought to you in cooperation with the National Development Council.
Yo, welcome to another edition of ICRT's Breakdown. A look at all the fun stuff that's going on in the world with some very interesting people. I am your host A, Tim Berge, and host B is...
I'm Paz Bueno.
And Paz, I think we have a very special guest with us again today.
Yes, joining us today is Jeane from Ghost Island Media's podcast On the Right Side of the Ambassador. She has a lot of travel experience from spending time with her spouse, who is a former ambassador of Taiwan. And in her podcast, she generally just talks about her firsthand experiences traveling around the world. So, hi, Jeane.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome to our podcast, Jeane.
Thank you for inviting me.
Well, thank you for coming, and we're very interested in you telling us about your podcast and also the right side of the ambassador. So that means you're on the right-hand side, or maybe you're probably on the correct side of the ambassador.
I could be sideless. Yeah, that's the English title for our podcast show, and in Chinese title is called 别叫我大使夫人, literally translated, Don't Call Me Madame Ambassador. The reason why is usually a spouse of a diplomat. It could be a cardboard cutout. It's a standing sign. And so if people call me Madame Ambassador, it make me feel like I have no brain. So I said, okay, 别叫我大使夫人, 因为如果叫我大使夫人以后就其他什么都没有了. But on the right side of the ambassador, meaning usually in diplomatic circle, the wife of ambassador is always sitting on the right side, which is more a respectful position. And also, like, you have to behave correctly. So that's on the right side. It could be risky if you're on the left side and you're on the wrong side. That's what it means.
So with your podcast, what are you trying to share with the audience?
Well, people are always curious about what does diplomat do? And more, what do their wives do? Their spouses.
Yes.
So you're doing all the fun stuff, aren't you?
Not really.
Not really, no?
Well, now when I look back, yeah, they seem to be very fun. But the time it was actually very busy, busier than my real career. Because, when you relocated to a post, you need to move houses, you need to find school for the kids, and you have a lot of entertainment to do, like entertaining diplomatic corps people and also making new friends, learning a new language, adjusting to different weathers or customs. So it's actually quite challenging in the beginning.
I would say in some ways, actually, your job, quote unquote, is probably more difficult than the ambassador's. Because, the ambassador, she, would have like a set schedule of things to do. And you kind of have to create a lot of this yourself, don't you?
Right. Well, my job is, as a diplomat's wife, is usually, the territory is usually at home. Especially for Taiwanese diplomatic relationship is quite difficult, in the past. And so I have to entertain guests at home a lot. So it takes me 2 to 3 days to prepare a meal and to prepare for the guest list and also take care of all this food, and especially when I don't have a chef to go with me. So I have to cook everything myself.
Wow, that doesn't sound fun.
Sounds like a very tiring position to be in.
I think I can open a restaurant now.
Well, we'll be your first
That's
clients.
the
We'll be
side
your
of it.
first customers, okay?
So today we've invited Jeane to join us in talking about Songkran. It is a significant annual celebration in Thailand, which you have been in before.
First of all, I would like to pronounce this word in a more proper way.
Did I say it wrong?
We've been making mistakes all this time?
Right, it's actually called Songkran.
Songkran.
Yeah, it's a G, not a K. Yeah. Songkran.
Oh.
Interesting.
Right, so Songkran actually is a Thai New Year's, and it's derived from a Sanskrit word Sankranti, which is related to the sun's movement or astrological passage between constellations in the sky. So it symbolizes the start of a new year. But it's actually the hottest month of the year in Thailand. So it's also called the water festival. But that doesn't mean like you're very hot, so people splash water all over. But it's also meaning like it's a cleaning festival. Just like in Taiwan, 我们要大扫除. Yeah, so before New Year's, they will clean the houses and clean even the Buddha's statues. Yeah, and also they want to kind of clean away the negativity or anything that is not positive in the past.
Right. So to wash away every bad experience from the last year and like welcome the new year on a clean slate, quite literally.
Right, a time of cleansing.
Yeah.
But that's also interesting. So you said that in Thailand, Songkran is actually according to the solar calendar. It's according to the sun and not to, like in Taiwan, the New Year's is according to the lunar calendar.
Yeah, I guess.
So every year, so it's on April 13th, the same day every year.
Right.
Well, that makes it a lot easier for planning your holiday schedule then.
Yes.
Right.
So Songkran derived from Sanskrit, so 它来自于这个印度的梵语，然后它是跟太阳的动作有关系 so it's related to the sun's movements, 然后跟它在哪一个星座 in which constellation it is located in the sky. So it symbolizes 它象征着 the start of the new year. So celebrated, you said in April.
Right.
April 13th is a specific date. Here in Taiwan, for the Lunar New Year, we have like a week-long holiday for the Lunar New Year. But like the Lunar New Year is technically only just one day.
Right.
So if the New Year is in April, how long is the celebration? Like how long do you have to keep washing things?
It's about 3 to 4 days, I would say, like starting April 12th to the 16th. But I think the New Year days is on the 13th.
Okay.
During this time, they would, put some white powder on their face, and I think representing cleaning, and then splashing water on the passerby. So you have to be very careful when you're walking on the street. During this period of time, you will get very, very wet from splashing.
Are there any other customs associated with the Song? I keep wanting to say that K there.
Yeah,
You're
Songkran.
going to have to take that K out of my alphabet, okay?
It's a very auspicious traditional festival, I would say. So besides cleaning, and I just say cleaning the house, cleaning the Buddha, and they would do some offering to the monks and visit the temple. That's a must. And also merit making. One of them is 放生, which is they would release birds or fish or sometimes turtle into their natural inhabitants and just to show their compassion.
Where is the biggest celebration? So like if I were going to travel to Thailand, 如果我要去泰国来庆祝泰国新年的话, where should I go?
If you want to really get a big violent splash, then I suggest you go to Chiang Mai, the northern capital of Thailand. 因为在清迈城里就有运河，所以要泼路上的人很容易，就只要拿个水桶就从旁边就可以直接泼了。所以我记得我在清迈的时候是被泼的最厉害的时候。然后他们不是只有泼人，他还把水拿起来泼汽车啊，只要他眼睛所见的所有东西，他都要把它弄湿。
Right. So because it's so convenient to just get water from the river, you just pick up a bucket, splash every single thing that you see inside. Okay.
And you get your car cleaned at the same time. I think that's a pretty good deal.
I think everything is clean in Thailand that
Head to
day.
toe.
Yes.
Okay, it's good. But I think it is interesting. I mean, I've only been in Thailand once during this festival. And it is interesting, in Chinese, it is called 泼水节.
Right.
And I discovered very quickly, and very much to my surprise, because I was unfamiliar with this, that people are throwing big, fat water balloons and everything at people. And I just got drenched, not knowing that I was going to get drenched that day walking on the street. So it's a very boisterous and very happy festival, too.
So the way I imagine, so I've never been in Thailand. I have been in Thailand before, but not during this festival. My imagination is that people are kind of like splashing, 就是他们在泼水或者是洒水 towards each other. But the way you're making it sounds more strategic. It's like people are weaponizing the water in a way.
Jeane probably knows more than we do, but it kind of seems to be both, that people are both doing it strategically, but also just in a fun and boisterous way.
For me, the biggest and the most violent splash is in Chiang Mai.
Really?
The reason why is they have a canal right there. So
the water is
the
limitless.
water is right
Convenient access.
And they would splash not only on the people, but onto the cars.
Wow.
Everything that they see, everything inside, they would
Buildings, trees.
So it came to a point I was kind of scared because I was already all wet and they still keep splashing.
I see. So after a while, it feels like it becomes a little bit too much.
Right.
Okay, I see. So it's a lot of water. So people drench each other. 他们会互相泼水，然后就是整个全部都会真的就是满身都是水。And then in Chiang Mai as well, so they have 就是旁边就有一个河流了，所以他们就是直接拿河流的水去泼水。And in some rural areas, 在一些比较农村的地区, the celebration can last even longer. What's the longest time Songkran has been celebrated?
That's a good one.
Thank you.
You mean the day or
like what's the longest Songkran celebration? Like some people celebrate, you said like 3-4 days.
I think for a week or sometimes the whole month.
Oh wow,
yes.
Okay.
Because when some people will go away for holidays and when they come back and then but for the 泼水 一定是在新年那一天.
Oh, okay. So the cleaning has to happen before the new year.
Word splashing.
I love that. Okay.
So I can't splash you like a week later. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Yes, it will be a little bit like outdated.
Yeah, okay. The new year is already here.
I've been accused of being outdated many times, so that would be nothing new.
No.
I'm just kind of curious, are there any other greetings you can teach us associated with this holiday?
Yeah, like how do you say Happy New Year?
In Thailand, when you greet people, you always say Sawadee Ka, right?
Yes.
But that's for ladies. Mm-hmm. For men, you have to say Sawadee Krap.
Sawadee krap.
Right.
Okay.
And so you use Sawadee and then say New Year, so Sawadee Bimai.
Sawadee Bimai.
Yeah, and you can say Sawadee Bimai Ka.
Sawadee Bimai Ka.
Right. Pat, you got that down.
That's great. Thank you. Okay, so it's a celebration. So people just say this to each other, like
right. On that day.
Okay.
Sawadee Bimai. Mm-hmm. Everyone will say to each other.
So you can say it to anybody you meet on the street.
Right.
Cool.
Right. Yeah. Or maybe you will give hongbao also.
Oh, really? They do that too?
Some like Chinese Thai or Thai Chinese. They do the hongbao too.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Is there anything special that
maybe that's the day we pretend that we're not Chinese.
Are there any special customs that the Thai have, like maybe that they give gifts to children or anything like that?
They give flowers.
Flowers,
and
cool.
Food, yes. It's like an offering to gods and to family. And they do a lot of dancing also. Parade, dancing. It's a very happy occasion. You know, I think Thai people are really happy-go-lucky Thai when it comes to festival.
Well, it just seems like in general, Thai people are just very friendly. You go there and you feel really relaxed. You go to restaurants even, you just feel so comfortable in Thailand.
Right, it's a Buddhist country, so
right.
they were very...
They're big on kindness. Yes.
Compassion. Yes.
Yes. And speaking of restaurants, you mentioned restaurants,
yes.
Food. My experience in Thailand, literally every single place, whether it was like a food stall, 不管是小吃摊贩, or if I went to like an actual restaurant that was selling, I went to like an Indian curry restaurant in Thailand as well. All the food was so good. Why is all the food in Thailand so good?
Well, to me, it's a little bit sweet, to the sweet side. But in the northern Thai food, it's closer to the Yunnan and Chinese influence. So it's different. But Thai food has also influence from the Persian food and Indian. So there's a lot of curries and mix, and also they're very creative people. 然后他们也在这一天，他们也很喜欢吃一种就是那个。泰国的饭，然后泡在一个有花香的水里面吃，对，那个是叫做 khao che， 对，khao 是饭，然后 che 是泡的意思，
就是
对 khao che， 他们那天会吃那个东西。
也是跟水有关系的. So it's still related to water in one way. So you're cleansing your palate, I suppose. Okay, and another famous dish is the mango sticky rice, which is an infamous dessert. 它是一个很著名的一个甜点. So, mangoes are also in season during April.
That's right. It's
so
the sweetest.
Yeah, so between March and May, mangoes are in season, 就是芒果的盛产期. So there's also a lot of like mango sticky rice during the Thai New Year.
对，以前应该是 新年的时候才吃，但现在每天都可以吃到
Yes.
这个 mango sticky rice.
Awesome. Okay.
I would say that Thai people are very good in receiving friends from afar, or they're very family oriented.
Yeah, they're very big on
Yeah, so
hospitality.
Songkran is actually not only the festival of social life, also religions and also family.
Okay.
Cool.
Yes.
I think Thai people are very creative. I mean, if you look at their Sanskrit, their writing system, they have to be an artist, everyone. But it's so difficult. There's no like comma or period. You would just have to figure out yourself.
Wow. Okay.
It's like a bunch of elephants and snakes running. You just can't read.
It's a very pictographic script.
Now I don't feel so
right.
bad when I don't understand anything.
Right.
So I want to go in and maybe mention some of the vocabulary words. So Jeane, you've already spoken that some of the customs are making merit making. So you have acts of kindness, and you have to also like release some animals, 就是给动物放生动物，对。Okay, so we also have watering plants or trees, giving alms, 布施 to monks. So just giving them food or new robes, or listening to the monks preaching, and as you mentioned, spending time with family and
或
friends.
到庙里拜拜。
Ah, yes. Okay,
And the fact that they clean the Buddha statue, 他们也会清佛像，这件事情我觉得也是很美妙的，就是什么都清扫。
And I kind of found that surprising. So that's not considered to be sacrilegious or anything, to be splashing water on the Buddha
没礼貌
statues?
吗？就是给
可是他们有的佛像是很大的，
哦，
所以可能也是需要把它擦得亮亮的。
Okay, I see. So it's kind of like a yearly cleaning that they
and then
do.
they could put flowers, because they put in a lot of flowers to offer
Yeah,
to
they put.
Buddha.
I know in Thailand, garlands are very popular.
Right.
就是那个花环，对，所以很多人都会把花环放在菩萨的脖子上。
对，其实编那个花环是需要很长的时间。
Really?
它很细的花，一朵一朵的
Okay.
接上去
Wow.
像编织一样的。
I see. So it's like knitting a garland.
Right. Yes.
Knitting flowers, I like that. Okay.
On the night before the beginning of Songkran, many people clean their homes and get rid of all their junk. So it's a little bit like the spring cleaning. 就像我们过年之前会做一个大扫除 before the Lunar New Year. People also clean the Buddha statues. 他们也会泼水给菩萨的像. And the most famous aspect, 就是 Songkran 的最大的一个特征就是泼水嘛，它是泼水节 the water splashing. People have water fights and they drench each other, 会互相泼水 to wash away bad luck and bring good luck in the year to come. And there are water fights all over the city, and people will also visit temples. There are parades, 会有游行. There are folk dances, 很多人会跳舞. Beauty pageants, 会有选美比赛, and boat races. And other customs also include making merit, so 要做善行, watering plants, releasing animals, 放生动物, and spending time with family and friends. So what are some other kinds of celebrations or some other ways that we can celebrate Songkran?
For the parade parts, 我知道他们游行的时候啊，也会除了跳舞或者是这个选美，也有击鼓。因为泰国有一个村叫安通，这个村呢被称为是专门做鼓的鼓村他们的鼓各式各样都有，而且还外销全世界。在这个新年的时候也会有击鼓的演奏、击鼓的比赛跟游行。
Awesome. Okay, so Drum Village. They even supply drums around the world. Awesome.
So now we come to the fun part of the show, the part that I always like. We kind of talk about something fun or maybe something not so fun in English. So a cat's meow, something you really like, or a pet peeve, something that kind of really bothers you, something you don't like. And this time I have my cat's meow, which is underdog. An underdog is something you oftentimes hear about in movies, kind of like a character who maybe starts out as being a little bit pushed down, or they're not quite the really cool person in the movie. But through time, they kind of show that they're the actual hero. They're the ones that strive to be good. And like a good example is, I don't know if you guys remember this, but the movie Legally Blonde.
Yes.
Okay, so Legally Blonde, what is it? You know, in American movies, the blonde woman is always kind of the dumb and stupid woman. She's in law school. Everyone thinks she's a stupid blonde, but at the end, she shows that she's smarter than all those old men who are telling her that she's stupid. So she was the underdog. And I kind of just was thinking about that because recently there's been a lot of people in the news who are the same way. They're kind of underdogs. They're being pushed down, But I think over time, they're going to be shown to be the heroes. They're the people who may be pushing for more civil rights and more freedom for people around the world. So let's maybe hope that these people are successful. So that's my cat's meow.
Yes.
So Paz, what's your choice this month?
For me, I also chose a cat's meow. It's actually a phrase, a commonly well-known phrase. You can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs.
Ooh, that's a good one.
So in order to achieve success, you gotta sometimes make a mess.
You gotta make a mess
Break
sometimes.
a few eggs in the process. It's okay. You sacrifice a few things for the general progress. Yes.
Yay, I like that. Mm-hmm. How about
Jeane?
My meow.
Your meow
pet peeve.
if you like it, a peeve if you dislike it.
So this is meow and Pete. But referring when you just said about Legally Blonde and the underdog, and I think on the right side of the ambassador, sometimes it's a little bit of underdog, but you can't really underestimate a spouse influence or 他的功劳啊，一个大使夫人到底是一个人形立牌而已，还是她必须永远要做一个正确的 on the right side 的一个大使夫人？其实呢，她也是一个最不会被 recognize 的，因为她是没有领薪水的，所以我今天的应该是中间吧，meow and pee 就是 on the right side of the
Your cat's
ambassador.
peeve?
Yeah, we've had that before. Our cat's peeve. Go ahead.
对啊，所以有的时候你不一定要 always on the right side. You could go on the left.
Yes.
Even though that's a little bit against the protocol.
Well, that's great. I really enjoyed that.
Yes, me too.
So that was another edition of Breakdown here on ICRT. This program is sponsored by the National Development Council as we're helping out to promote bilingualism in Taiwan. Let me again thank Jeane for joining us this week.
Thank you for
And
inviting
Jeane, you have
me.
your podcast called
别叫我大使夫人 on the right side of the ambassador.
And which you are, that is correct. And so also Paz, our co-host.
Bye. Thank you for listening.
And I'm Tim, your other co-host, saying, hey, join us again next time.
Breaking the ice, breaking the mold, breaking down the news. You've been listening to ICRT Breakdown, a bilingual 2030 policy program brought to you in association with the National Development Council.